I'm Robert Schwab. I go by Rob, and I'm living in Cleveland Heights, Ohio, which
Great.
is an inner ring suburb just east of Cleveland.
Great. What about your experience in Cleveland Heights made you want to do this interview with us?
Oh, hmm. Well, I don't know yet because I didn't know what your questions were, actually. I guess I was just curious. I was more curious about your invitation.
That's fair. Well, what brought you to Cleveland Heights? You said you've lived here 20 years.
Okay, yes. So I came to Cleveland with Ernst& Young, the accounting and consulting firm, and I've been offered a job. I was living in Connecticut, Avon, Connecticut at the time, and I was offered a job here in the national office of Ernst& Young in Cleveland. And because I had lived in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, I thought, well, here's another old Rust Belt city on a lake in the Midwest. And I loved Milwaukee. It was a great place. So I thought Cleveland must be like that. And so I was interested.
Great. What are some things about Cleveland that you really like?
Well, I'll say that I grew up in New York, and I worked in New York City for a while. I grew up in White Plains, New York. I was born in Queens. So I've lived in some very large cities, Philadelphia, Miami, Washington D.C., Dallas for a little while, and I like the size of Cleveland. Cleveland used to be one of the largest cities in the U.S. I think it was the fifth largest, and it's a much smaller city now. But I'd say what I most like about Cleveland is that it's a small city that retained all the large city infrastructure and kind of cultural sports activities. So
Nice.
it's still got the Cleveland Orchestra, and it's still got the sports teams and the world renowned Cleveland Museum of Art. So all the infrastructure uh, and sort of cultural and sort of urban entertainments that were pretty much the legacy of Rockefeller. Those kind of stayed, but I guess a lot of the people left.
hmm Nice. On the flip side, are there some things about Cleveland that you wish were different or maybe don't like as much?
Well, Cleveland, the city, Cleveland. I'm in Cleveland Heights. The city is very poor. The average income is very low. So I do wish that Cleveland itself was more successful as a city. I'd say that would be kind of the number one concern. There's I don't think we have the crime problems that a large city has. Thankfully, I think that's a huge benefit of living here. But it would be nice, if the population of Cleveland itself, were thriving more.
hmm Yeah. If someone were to come visit you for the day or maybe a couple days, are there local things that you would take them to do that they absolutely have to do or see?
Sure, yeah. In the beginning, that used to be the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame when people came out to visit, uh, and I suppose that would still be an attraction. But my favorite location, and we go there, monthly, not quite weekly, but probably twice a month, is the Cleveland Museum of Art. That'd probably be the first place we would go. Uh, I live in a neighborhood which is very walkable. So you can walk to the park, you can walk to a park and around the lake. And you can also, in one direction, you can walk to the park, and the other direction, you can walk to a street that's busy with bars and wine stores and lots of different types of restaurants. So we'd probably go for a walk around the park and around the lake, and then we'd probably walk maybe to a French patisserie or for a coffee shop or to a restaurant.
Nice. Overall, would you recommend someone else move to Cleveland Heights?
Yes. In fact, until recently, both my daughters lived here. One now moves. One now moved to a city a little further south, and another one to a city a little further west. But you know, my youngest daughter uh, was for a while a single mom. I guess she was about 30, and she was able to buy a very nice house in a very nice neighborhood on her single income, working in finance or accounting for a hospital. And I don't think that would have been possible at just about any of the other cities that I lived in. So it's very affordable place to live with a lot of amenities, and that's very attractive to someone, just to young people in particular.
Yeah, definitely. If somebody were to be moving to Cleveland Heights, do you have any advice you would give them specifically?
Uh, okay, it is an inner ring suburb, so we are near a big city. And I do recall that the first day we moved in here, we moved here from Connecticut with my wife and my two kids who were, I guess, teenagers at the time. And the very first day, my daughter kind of rode into the village and left her bike there, and it got stolen. So if you don't lock up your bike and your things, you are in a city, and that we do have that type of crime. And a kid probably will take your bike and steal your bike.
Okay, good to know.
So I would lock things. I would lock your car at night if it's on the street. If you leave your car open, unlocked at night, somebody will come by and steal the things that are in there. But I can tell you, unlike some other cities I've been in, Philadelphia kind of comes to mind. They probably won't take a hammer and break all the windows in your car to get at your radio. I don't. We don't see that, but they will pilfer your stuff.
Okay. Well, there you go. Those were all of my questions today. It was pretty quick. Do you have anything else you want to share before we sign off?
Yeah, I would say it's a lovely. Cleveland Heights is a sidewalk city, so there's lovely sidewalks. The houses are many century houses. My house is 103 years old. So when you walk around, every house is different. Every house is a different architectural style and charm to it. And there's houses for every budget. There's $1 million houses, and there's houses you could probably buy for $100,000. And it's a very tree-lined city. So there are a lot of huge, tall oak trees, on the streets. And it makes it very attractive, and it's a great location.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for your time today. It was great chatting with you.
Oh, okay. Good. We're all set?
Yeah. Have a great rest of your day.
Okay. Take care.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.